Hi. Hello. How are you today? How's it going? Hi everyone, it's Lucid Hound here as your favorite sassy saber-tooth liger, Roxy. And in today's video, we are going to be diving deep and dark into a subject that has plagued my mind and has made me fall deep into a rabbit hole that I cannot dig myself out of. I have literally lost sleep over this topic. I am not joking. We are going to be talking about something that terrifies me more than ghosts and demons and cryptids, and that thing is people, human beings. Human beings are terrifying, and the particular human being I want to discuss today is Mckamey Manor. Now, some of you might have heard of Mckamey Manor before, and some of you might not have a clue what I'm talking about, and you're like, what is this? I will tell you, do not research this. Do not look this up. Save your sanity, please, children. Mckamey Manor is the most extreme haunted attraction in the United States, if not the world. To even call it a haunted attraction is a disservice to the actual good haunted attractions that exist, like the burial chamber, the haunted mansion, the Tower of Terrors, the 17th door, House of Shock, the Penhurst Asylum. The actual good haunted attractions that exist, we have actors and actresses in elaborate costumes and makeup that are putting on a show for you to be entertained and to have a good time. That is a haunted attraction. Mckamey Manor is far from a haunted attraction. It's basically a torture house that somehow is still running. You go into, and the whole thing is supposed to last up to 8 hours, if not more. Now, before you would even consider going to Mckamey Manor, if you go onto the website, it tells you you don't want to do this. You don't want to go here. This is a bad idea. If you get picked to go to Mckamey Manor, you will be put on a wait list of over 20,000 people. These people all know the risks involved in going to Mckamey Manor, and they are well aware of it, and they are willing to bring themselves to go. If once you get through the years of waiting, you will have to undergo a physical and psychological evaluation to make sure you are physically fit enough and psychologically okay enough to be able to participate in this haunt. So once you go through with that, Russ will find you, Russ Mckamey, he's owner Mckamey Manor, and you will have to sign a 40-page waiver. That is not a joke. You will have to sign a 40-page waiver. At least I'm pretty sure it's 40 pages. There's things I've seen where it's only 10 pages or 20. So that information is kind of all over the place, but the most I've seen is, 40-page waiver. The waiver lists all the risk factors that you could run into when participating in the manor. These risk factors include, but not limited to, being buried alive, drowning, waterboarding, being put into 60 feet of water, and your breathing apparatus is removed, and you have to find your way back to the surface. Your hair being cut off, your teeth being pulled out with no Novocaine. And might I just say, I've had teeth pulled with no Novocaine, and that shit fucking hurts. Your fingernails removed, being cut, being severely bruised, broken bones, being forced to eat weird foods, forced to drink weird liquids, being exposed to hypodermic needles, raw sewage, and there's also a disclaimer in the waiver saying, if you die, don't sue us. But the torturing is so bad that it's like you might die because of this. You might either die from drowning, or being exposed to something, or being buried alive, or you might just die because you're so freaking terrified that you could just die. And they're like, well, if you die, don't sue us. Just because someone is signing a waiver giving you consent to do this horrible, horrible things to them doesn't mean it is any less okay if somebody dies on your property. If somebody dies on your property, you are suspected of murder. You just killed somebody. That is not okay by any fucking means necessary. And oh yeah, and speaking of that, apparently one person did have a heart attack inside the manor during their haunt. When it's brought up, Russ Mckamey is like, oh yeah, we had a heart attack, that's cool. What? It's like some person had a heart attack inside your facility and you're just like, oh yeah, whatever. Oh, it's a walk in the park, you'll be fine. This whole thing is so disturbing and so not okay, and this is not a haunted attraction. It's nowhere near close. And I think one of the worst parts about it, besides all the torturing, besides all the risk factors, is that Russ Mckamey posts these videos on YouTube. Mckamey Manor has a YouTube page dedicated to all the haunts that have happened in Mckamey Manor. I don't know why. I don't know how it exists. I cannot bring myself to watch these videos because they are so utterly disturbing. There's a reason I can't watch the Saw movies, because I don't like humans being tortured. And I understand, yes, Saw is fake, it's not real, it's a movie, it's fictional, yada yada. I still can't watch the Saw movies. I just don't, I don't like human torture. Mckamey Manor, this is a real thing. These are real people going through a real situation where they are actually getting physically and psychologically hurt. And these videos are on YouTube right now for people to watch. I really think that this is all part of something bigger. These are just conspiracies. I'm not claiming any of this to be real. These are just conspiracies, but I truly think this is part of something way bigger. Russ Mckamey is not letting on everything he's talking about. Like, how does he get the money to run this manor? Because it sure hell isn't coming from anybody who enters the manor, because there's no payment needed to enter the manor, besides a bag of dog food. So there's really no money coming in from the patrons who enter into the manor. So where is this money coming from? I and a lot of other people, including Loie Lane, think that Russ Mckamey is taking the unedited versions of the haunts and selling them to people on the dark web. Which is completely possible, because it's like a red room thing. You pay for people to get tortured. And you pay for the type of torture you want to see on the dark web. And I think Russ Mckamey is doing something like that, where it's a red room thing, where he's taking the unedited versions of the haunts and selling them to people on the dark web. I truly think he's doing that. And apparently, Russ himself will not go through his own haunted house. He'll be behind the camera filming it, but he will not participate in his own haunted house. But yeah, he's totally fine filming other people going through it. That in itself is disturbing, because I think that Russ has problems. He is a dark, sick, twisted individual with problems who gets off to people being tortured in this type of way. And it's so disgusting and disturbing to think about something like that. And I just don't know why. Like, why is this a thing? Like, it just, like, the fact that all of this torture, it's somehow legal. And I just don't understand how it's legal. Like, I understand there's a waiver and that these people are signing it, but at the same time, it's like, you are physically torturing people on your property, and you even have the risk of someone dying. More people need to talk about this. More people need to come out about this and spread this information. But at the same time, I am begging you, don't look up the videos. Don't watch them. Don't do research into this topic. I myself have dug into a rabbit hole that I cannot get out of. And apparently, there is a $20,000 reward. And I'm just like, how can you give someone $20,000 when no one can make it through the haunted house? Like, the most someone will last is maybe a few hours. Some people last only 5 minutes. So, every single person that has gone through this haunted house has failed. No one has ever lasted the 8 to 10 hours of torture that is being given to them. And it's like, even if somebody did, I highly doubt you would get $20,000. So yeah, so most people only last 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. The most I've seen somebody last is 2.5 or 3 hours. And that's based off of the timestamps that are given on the YouTube videos on the Mckamey Manor page that I've seen. I haven't watched the actual videos because, God, I can't do it. That's just based off of the timestamps, what it tells me on YouTube. Please be safe. Please don't go to Mckamey Manor. Save yourself, save your sanity, and go to an actual good haunted experience. Like, if I have to recommend masochistic haunted houses, I would highly recommend the 17th Door, Alone, Miasme, Stag. Those are actual good masochistic haunted houses that have actors that are willing to put on a show for you. If you're into a masochistic haunted house, don't go to Mckamey Manor. Just don't. Hi everyone, it's Lucid Hound here. Ignore the fact that it's a different day and I am now in Megara instead of Roxy. I was about to record a TikTok and I just remembered that there was a couple of things that I wanted to mention about Mckamey Manor that I didn't mention in my original video, so I figured I'd do it now and then add it in when I edit it. So the first thing I wanted to mention was how in my original video I talked about, how I have a theory that Russ Mckamey is taking the unedited versions of the walkthroughs and possibly selling them on the dark web. Again, any theory I talk about in this video is just that, a theory. I'm not stating it as fact. Don't take what I say as factual, because I have no idea if it's true or not. These are just theories. Don't take what I say as fact. Anyways, I had a theory that he was taking the unedited versions of the walkthroughs and selling them on the dark web as a red room thing. Well, come to find out, in the 40-page waiver you have to sign in order to even get into Mckamey Manor, in the 40-page waiver, there is a bullet point that says the participant acknowledges that their walkthrough will be live streamed to a live audience in Vegas, the Philippines, and Thailand. And they will act appropriately. Now, I don't know for a fact if it is every single walkthrough that is live streamed or if it's just certain walkthroughs that are live streamed in Mckamey Manor. Again, that goes into the whole Red Room theory. That you are live streaming a horrifying torture chamber walkthrough to a live audience that can, and they do, bid on the outcome, and they bet money on who's gonna make it, who's gonna cry like a little baby and leave, and all this other stuff. And I have a theory that the people that are watching these live are betting and they're paying money to tell the actors or Russ or whoever what to do next and what they want to see, what kind of torture they want to see happen to the individual that is going through that specific walkthrough when they're watching it. But that's a theory, and I honestly wouldn't doubt it if people were betting and bidding and, you know, saying that they want to see this and this happen to this individual, and they're betting on who's going to make it and who's going to last 8 to 10 hours and who's going to run crying like a little baby in 10 minutes. Like, I honestly don't doubt it. Another theory that I found while watching a bunch of YouTubers talk about this, one of the theories that I found was really interesting was that there's a theory that Russ Mckamey, for the actors that work in Mckamey Manor, he hires a lot of mentally unstable people who should be in a mental ward or asylum, or people who should be classified as criminals, or people who were criminals. I've seen interviews of people talking to the actors who work in Mckamey Manor, and it's kind of horrifying to watch, to be completely honest. Like, there's this one guy that says he's an actor at the Manor, and he says that he likes to do this because he likes hurting people. And I'm just like, that is really scary. It's extremely horrifying to think about, because it's like, if these people were criminals or act like criminals or are mentally unstable, that is a huge ass red flag, because then if they like hurting people, Mckamey Manor is the perfect outlet for them to live out their dark, sick, twisted, perverted fantasies. And that is so scary. Like I said, humans scare me more than ghosts or demons or anything. So to think about something like that when you're going through that walkthrough and they're getting off to torturing people, just hell no. Hell no. Like I said, any theory that I have talked about now or when I was recording originally with Roxy, again, they are just theories. They are my opinions. They are my theories. I'm not stating them as facts. Take them with a pound of salt, if you will. Those are just, again, they are just theories. I'm not laying anything on the table here. It's just from what I have researched. Also, this is going to be the only video where I talk about Mckamey Manor. I will not be talking about Mckamey Manor in any future video, because I don't want to talk about it in a future video. I have my Mckamey Manor fix from the research that I have done, and I really don't feel like diving back into this and talking about this ever again. And I stated before, please don't research this. Please save your sanity. And don't fall into the rabbit hole like I did. So if there's anything else that's spooky, scary that you guys want me to talk about and cover in a future video, please let me know in the comments below. I will be more than happy to talk about them. But as of now, I've had my Mckamey Manor fixed. I will never be covering it ever again in a future video. Yeah, my sanity is shot, so you guys have a good rest of your day. Bye!